Hello everyone, this is Juniorfan, and today I'm going to be doing a commentary on R.J. Bansma's father. That's right, R.J. Bansma literally had to bring his father into the whole situation. Now, how do I know that it's R.J.'s father? Well, he simply replied to one of my short videos I made on R.J. Bansma, which was a typical day for Ralph Joseph Buttfucker, where I portrayed R.J. Bansma as Charge Man from Mega Man 5. And I guess he didn't like it too much, so he decided to respond to that particular video. Anyway, he made a rant on WSD time, and let's just say that that particular rant was piss poor, as you can tell by how many dislikes he's gotten. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this commentary started.
Good evening, y'all. WSD time. Please, when you do your rants, first name, last name. Okay? When you just generalize the last name, there's other people out there with the same last name.
Now, I do agree that WSD time could have mentioned the first name instead of just the last name, and I do also agree that there's more than one Bansma, especially internationally. However, it's a very minor detail, and really the way you're sounding, you're probably going to nitpick over the whole situation of just one last name, huh, pal?
When you start saying Bansma is a dipshit, guess what? It means you're calling me a dipshit.
Okay, we get it. And yes, I know that's a little bit hypocritical because I do repeat my points when it comes to my particular rants.
My last name is Bansma as well.
And thanks for giving out first shred of evidence claiming that you're R.J. Bansma's father, even though you do have a southern accent and you're from North Carolina as well. Thanks, pal.
So grow up, get a job, get off of welfare, get a life.
And this is where the rant really goes downhill significantly and just shatters into a million pieces. First of all, do you know where WSD time lives? Do you know for the fact that he's unemployed? Do you know if he's working his ass off? Do you even know what his full name is? I mean, do you even have, like, a shred of friggin' evidence or proof of this particular user named WSD time? Huh? Of course you don't. You're a typical generic user that just runs and shoots off his friggin' mouth thinking he's Mr. Hotshit because he knows what the hell he's talking about. Unfortunately, my fine redneck friend, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You just shoot your fucking mouth off like you know anything. And for your first rant, you're doing a pretty piss poor job at the moment.
That way you ain't gotta worry about somebody on the internet.
So I guess going ahead and telling WSD time to simply get a job is really going to help him ignore the situation, especially for the fact of what RJ has been doing onto YouTube. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially for the fact that RJ Bansma was playing victim and making pointless rants that several people went ahead and made commentaries on him. By the way, he removed those commentaries based on copyright issues and community guideline strikes. You know, it makes a lot of sense, you know. People were trying to help him out, but I guess RJ has to be a hypocritical asshole and not understand that he uploaded full-length episodes of Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 and full-length NASCAR race on his RJ Bansma 68 account. Your son's account, I might add. But guess what? He can't understand what Copyright Act of 1976 is. He doesn't understand that act. He doesn't understand Section 107 of the Fair Use Clause. He doesn't even understand that criticism falls underneath the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. No, you don't understand that. You don't fucking understand that, do you, pal? And also, let's not forget the fact that your son has also sent death threats to several people onto YouTube, and he's also went ahead and tried to contact the police on people, which, by the way, your son was officially the laughingstock of the Orange County Police Department in North Carolina, because it's simple as this. Your son really needs to get a fucking life and needs to get off his grandma's house and needs to seek for a fucking job immediately. That's all I gotta say about it. Oh, by the way, did I also mention that he's been doing the same shit over the past couple of years? Did I mention that? You fucking asshole! How about this? How about you realize what your son's been doing instead of making a shitty, pointless fucking rant that you're doing in front of your shitty webcam? Huh?
Okay? You're worrying about something very menial and very stupid instead of worrying about life, what's going on in the world.
So that's your defense. He should worry about life and the world. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that WSD time does have a life, pal. I'm pretty sure that he goes to college. I'm pretty sure he cares about his loved ones. I'm pretty sure he goes to work. Or he does both. I don't know. But either way, I know he does something besides sit on his ass all day and play with friggin' dolls like a certain someone I know. Now, I know that you're trying to defend your son, but Jesus H. fucking Christ on a goddamn pogo stick. Why the hell are you trying to sound like, oh, WSD time, he better get a life? But RJ doesn't have a friggin' life. Seriously though, he just makes pointless friggin' rants on users. Seriously false flag him. And you know what? I'm not even gonna repeat myself. Just refer to what I just said. Also, your son violated freedom of speech and freedom of expression. That's right, he violated the First Amendment rights. See, you're an American, you should know what that means, pal. And how the hell is that minuscule and stupid? You know, please, just explain that to me, please. And also, for the fact of the matter is that WSD Time was trying to help RJ Bansma, your son. By the way, did I also forget to mention that he also got accounts removed, like the PS2 god, which RJ Bansma gave him his third and final strike? Did I forget to mention that? Of course I did. Christ.
Because you know what? Some of us work. I work 2 jobs, spent 13 and a half years in the military. So guess what?
That you're extremely biased in this whole entire defense video, not only on yourself, but your sons as well. Also, is the fact that you served 13 years in the military and that you have 2 jobs, is that supposed to be an indication to make you look better? I mean, the way you sounded trying to belittle WSD Time and tell him he has no job when you have no proof. You have no proof. The fact that you don't even show that you served like 13 and a half years in the military and 2 jobs. I understand it's classified information, but in this specific video, you could have at least shown that you served in the military, and the fact that you have 2 jobs, you know, it wouldn't hurt to kill you, pal. You know, I just don't believe it. I absolutely don't.
Just please. First, last names.
Once again, you made your point. Stop fucking bitching about it, knowing you wanna talk in an accent.
Thank you. Dumb idiot.
And dumb idiot is a nice way to end a foobarred, crippled rant. Don't you agree? So, in conclusion, what's my final thoughts on Rambo Tweedy's defense video for his son RJ Bansma and his rant on WSD Time? Well, I'm not going to mention what I just said into the commentary, but let me just say it was extremely piss poor, it was extremely biased, extremely hypocritical, and best of all, he was extremely immature for his rant for somebody who's 39 years old. Yes, I will admit that was kind of hypocritical on my part because I did indeed act immature and I did call him names, but for somebody who's 39 years old, I would expect much better when it comes to a particular rant. As for his defense on RJ Bansma, I'm fixing to ask him this one question. Why? Why did you have to go out and make a defense video for your son? Jesus Christ, he's 19 years old, he's a full-grown adult, he should defend himself. And don't give me any shit because he's got Asperger's. Don't. Because I'm going to say it right now, whether or not you believe me is up to you, pal. Because I've been diagnosed with Asperger's ever since November 2004. And at least I let people take my friggin' videos, and at least I can let them criticize them however they please. Unfortunately, your son doesn't realize that, and what you should do is make him get off the internet for a couple of years and maybe grow a pair of balls and grow some maturity. Unfortunately, you don't allow your son to do that. And by God, tell him to get out of his grandma's friggin' trailer and seek a friggin' job. That's all I'm asking. It's people like you that really piss me the fuck off, okay? It's people like you that makes me wonder how our society has really turned into shit as of recently. Hello everyone, this is Juniorfan, and here with me today is...
Hey guys, Unsealed Cross here.
And today, we are going to do a co-op on this obsessed nostalgia-tard by the name of I Love 1994, and how he hates CGI animation, 3D effects in movies, and Blu-ray.
Now, keep this in mind that he's going to be contradicting himself, which makes him a subpar ranter. And he will be representing a certain controversial user and ranter on YouTube.
Well, I'm ready to get this shit started. What about you, Unsealed Cross?
Just give me 1 minute.
Blue moon, you saw me standing alone.
Okay, now I've got my hard liquor and my local brew called Party with the Fat Boy. Now I'm ready to watch this pile of excrement slash bitch fest that is known as a rant.
Well, let's do it. Not her, the video.
Hey, YouTube.
Holy fucking shit! It's the bizarre autistic version of Hank Hill with a very blurring and ghastly sound from his camera that wants to bleed my ears internally where it gushes in my brains. Ah!
Really? I thought it was a framing issue, 'cause seeing a fraction of your head is the most professional way of filming your work, where it deserves an IFC Short Film Award.
Let's back up for a second. This is I Love 1994.
Oh, with a name like I Love 1994, it so doesn't sound like a nostalgia-tard name created on YouTube for a purpose to make really pointless and vile rants on modern media. Gee, and I also find it ironic that he has a Wile E. Coyote mug in the background that was from KFC back in, ironically enough, 1994 when KFC advertised those mugs.
Here again today, this is Tyler Cook from RetroJoke.com.
What? Speak up, boy, I can't hear you. You sound quieter than a Fluttershy in the overnight in an abandoned field.
February the 9th, 2012. And just to let you all know, I'm going on a weekend trip. So,
is anybody interested in hearing about this Mike Judge impersonator's trip that he's going on? Anybody besides his fans? I didn't think so. Hey, Unsealed Cross, do you want to skip this absolute diatribe that's as equivalent as, say, watching C-SPAN for 12 hours straight?
Yes, let's skip this BS known as an unnecessary update. We want to see the goddamn rant! So skip it! Damn! Really? It took you approximately 1 minute 53 seconds to actually get into a rant about 3D, CGI, and Blu-ray.
Who does that remind me of? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yum, yum, yum. Ice cream.
Jesus Christ, this intro is longer than what I devise in my intro for my commentaries.
welcome back to I Love 1994's Rant Series.
Wait a minute. You mean Sirius the dog? You mean Sirius like what Heath Ledger says as a very memorable catchphrase in the movie Dark Knight?
Why so serious?
Oh, you mean series.
Also, I guess Hank Hill's better half does rants on his limited spare time when he doesn't constantly talk about propane and propane accessories. Oh, and his voice. Gee, can this nasally voice be any more fake? Why does he have to make his voice sound so freaking nasally? It sounds almost identical to Don Adams, and why the hell does he have his arms crossed? It looks like he's being defensive and is not going to take bullshit from anybody and whip some tail with his scrawny carcass. You mean... Oh shit.
Wait a second. You don't mean he's ripping off...
Welcome back to Ben Rants. And when I was a kid, people knew how to take jokes.
God fucking damn it!
And when I was a kid in the 1990s and early 2000s, everything was 2D animated and people were actually active.
I really love your statement on hand-drawn, or as you spelled it out, hand-drawn animation. It doesn't matter if you draw it on paper or with a tablet with the computer. You still need to draw, which requires talent. Thanks for insulting me, asshole.
You know what I like?
What, to look up Playgirl naked images of Guptail89 and Ben the Hypocrite? To suck on your favorite ranter's willies?
Movies and TV shows.
Really? I would have not guessed that. Shoot, I thought people were still living in the 19th century. where people were singing the Bonnie Blue Flag and Johnny Comes Marching Home Again, reading Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and watching plays like Our American Cousin.
It's true. I love movies and TV shows.
Gee, and I have the most incoherent voice where it doesn't sound like I'm faking my true emotion while doing this rant.
Movies and TV shows from several different decades. When it comes to TV shows, especially cartoons and sitcoms, I love Looney Tunes, Ren and Stimpy, somewhat Scooby-Doo, although I hate its franchise.
Really? So if you mentioned some of the cartoons that you enjoyed in your childhood and in your late adolescent years, then why in Norval Rogers and Casey Kasem's ballsack did you claim that you hate Scooby-Doo for cartoons that you list for the ones you enjoy? Doesn't that sound hypocritical and makes what you just explained completely senseless to the point where it means absolutely nothing? I'm curious to know if this was all in one take, because I could tell that this wasn't scripted at all, due to the amount of pauses associated with this uninteresting and mundane rant so far.
Not to mention that I really like the new series of Scooby-Doo, which is entitled Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, mainly because it keeps the same formula and has an overarching plotline in the first season, which keeps it interesting, and not to mention, unlike most of the sequels to Scooby-Doo, with a few exceptions to the original series and franchise, they did manage to make some horrifying episodes of the new series of Scooby-Doo.
The only Scooby-Doo I kinda like is the Scooby-Doo Where Are You?
I did not realize that. Russell, did you realize that?
No, I did not realize that.
Batman and Spider-Man
And Superman, and the Hulk, and that guy with a red and yellow titanium alloy suit with a jetpack. Oh, why am I mentioning superheroes when I'm supposed to be doing a commentary?
Also, I'm wondering, which Batman shows are you talking about? Are you talking about the 60s version of Batman with Adam West and Burt Ward? Are you talking about Batman the Animated Series? Are you talking about Batman Beyond? Are you talking about the Batman? You grew up with these shows and you are bewildering your audience.
Not to mention, which Spider-Man are you talking about? Are you talking about the animated version of Spider-Man, which was shown back in the 1960s? Are you talking about the 1970s live-action show called The Amazing Spider-Man? Are you talking about the 80s animated version of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? Are you talking about that wonderful Marvel Corporation logo from 1985 where Spider-Man looks like a hybrid of himself with the Silver Surfer? Are you talking about the 90s animated Spider-Man series? Or are you talking about the 1999 animated series that is called Spider-Man Unlimited? Gee, vagueness, thy name is Tyler.
And when it comes to sitcoms, I especially love Married with Children, which I got into recently. Thank you, Dad.
I'm kind of surprised that Al Bundy, your actual biological father, didn't tell you to shut the hell up when making this bitch fest.
And sitcoms that I grew up on, like Friends, Frasier, Seinfeld, all that, Keenan and Kel, and modern...
What? No Malcolm in the Middle? That 70s show? And Home Improvement? You biased prick!
ones like The Big Bang Theory, you know? All those shows.
So, you mention all these shows from the 90s, and yet you, the sniveling snob, bring up but maybe one show from the current generation of television as an example? I'm starting to realize, not like I have before, that you, my fine friend, are showing signs of being a nostalgia-tard. Congratulations, asswipe.
Well, if you love the Big Bang Theory so much, why not give Mike and Molly a shot? Or better yet, earlier episodes of 2.5 Men before Charlie Sheen and his wild addiction on drugs and heroin that turned him into a made-up soldier and portraying as such. The reason why I suggest those situational comedies is because it's produced and directed by the same person, aka Chuck Lorre.
And movies like The Lion King and Star Wars, and, you know, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yes, it is awesome, because without movies, television, and other forms of electronic outlet for entertainment, none wouldn't exist, including the fact of you not making this lame and biased excuse of a rant. Also, I find it funny that you mentioned The Lion King as the main movie you had on the top of your head, and the first one you spoke of as an example when your username is I Love 1994, and that's when the classic Disney animated film came out, and the fact you have a Nala plushie in the background.
I sense a disturbance in the Force. I sense something biased.
However...
I could have had a V8!
Let's see. However...
With pure emphasis of the word however, I would have swore that this guy sounds almost constipated, or for the fact he's trying too hard to actually be funny or appealing.
Should I include the chocolate laxatives or the Beano?
Whatever works. He'll probably need both and a double heaping of such.
There are some bad points in those certain categories today. CGI, 3D, and this new thing called Blu-ray.
Okay, I understand that Blu-ray is, I guess, a fairly new form of video format that is used for electronic entertainment, but it's not exactly a brand spanking new thing. Remember the whole HD, DVD, and Blu-ray video format war that was going on in 2006 and 2007? Well, right around that time, Blu-ray was just out. See, with Blu-ray, it's been on the PS3s since the birth of the consoles released when Sony made the 60 gig and the 20 gig models of the system, which was right around November 2006. And at the time, it was a hefty $599, and Blu-ray movies could cost an astounding $50 to own. Now, with the advancement of technology, Blu-ray is basically the standard of electronic entertainment, and that you can now purchase Blu-ray players for a price range that is in between $70 to $150. With Sony, you can purchase the PS3 in between $250 to $300, and you can purchase Blu-ray movies in between the price range of $10 to $35.
Your move, creep.
Let's
Stop it, boy! You're hurting yourself! That boy ain't right.
start with CGI. Okay, you know what? Toy Story. Toy Story was the crap when I was a child. Buzz and Woody were my favorites when I was a kid.
Like every kid that watched the movie and enjoyed it like I did when I first saw the movie in theaters at the age of 6. You're not the only one, buddy.
But you know what? I like Toy Story. It's a part of my childhood. It's a good movie.
Quit repeating yourself.
I like Toy Story for what it is. I always have. But I dislike the trend that it gave. The trend it started was kind of a little stupid, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean, unless you're talking about the progression to the next generation of animation.
It was kind of stupid.
The trend for CGI animation is stupid? How? Which I know there's going to be no elaboration being described in this portion of the rant.
I mean, thanks to Toy Story, we got a lot of these movies in CGI. And I am afraid that it's going to replace 2D animation.
No, it will not replace 2D animation, because everything starts with 2D. Not to mention some studios are still producing 2D films and 2D shows. One of the best examples of this is Disney. Disney still has Studio Ghibli as a 2D animation studio. Not to mention with their most recent outings such as The Princess and the Frog and the new Winnie the Pooh film. Plus, you have these straight-to-DVD comic book movies that have mostly received mixed reviews, but were all hand-drawn. Besides, before any models, whether they're 3D or 2D, are created, they have to go through what is called a character Bible, then a character design, and then a layout for the scene which the character is going to interact with.
Just look at some of the animated shows being produced and directed by Cartoon Network, Hub, and Nickelodeon, and their studios for their channels, or most of the Japanese anime. They still use 2D animation despite most of it being Flash. Now granted, it isn't exactly big screen box office worthy with the exception of some Japanese anime like Ponyo, Secret World of Arity, Rebuild of the Evangelion series, Mobile Suit Gundam 00 the movie, and Awakening of the Trailblazer.
Do something! Gah!
You know, when I was in art class in middle school, there was no 2D animation. There was only clay animation and 3D animation.
Really? Well, let me tell you a little story. When I was in college not too long ago, I had to make a 10-second short film with hand-drawn animation. It was all traditional, with paper and pencil. I had to edit it all out with video editing software to present to the class. So don't you fucking stand there and tell me how animation works. It's the same no matter what you pick, 2D or 3D.
Also, didn't you say claymation and 3D animation were the only forms of animation you grew up with? Dumbass! You said you hated CGI animation for the trend it was going, and if I'm not mistaken, did you mean 2D animation from the start and the fact you grew up with that form of animation? Gee, you're dumber than that picture of the Three Stooges you have in the background. I guess you hadn't met Mr. Edit and Mrs. Double Check.
And somewhat with drawing, but not too much of that. And it was stupid.
Oh, boo-hoo-hoo.
Come on!
Gee, you really had to make an unnecessary pause and head nod, huh, son?
Oh well, at least we got The Princess and the Frog. Yeah, we haven't seen a 2D animated Disney movie in a long time.
You are made of stupid.
Hey, dipshit. Have you seen the recent Winnie the Pooh film that came out last summer? Or the previews, at least? Remember that? That's exactly what we're talking about approximately 20 seconds ago. Not to mention, they have made 2D animated direct-to-video sequels like Fox and the Hound 2 and Bambi 2 recently. So your argument falls as quickly as, say, a typical Kardashian marriage.
So, CGI, overused. That's all I can say.
Overused? That's all you have to say? Holy fucking shit! I've just heard the greatest excuse for hating 3D animation. Way to go, dude! Way to go! Also, I would like to link everyone to a certain user who is an instructor at the sister school where I went. His username is Polygon Sculptor. He actually shows you how 3D animation models are made and why exactly I got so annoyed in this segment.
Next, we move on to 3D. Oh God. Now, let me explain. When 3D was first introduced in the 50s, it was really kinda cool.
Yeah, and it was really shitty too! Mainly because sometimes it didn't fucking work.
And I've only seen like a few 3D movies in theaters.
Really? So the determination of watching maybe a few 3D movies in theaters will deter your point in claiming that 3D, with the exception of 3D films from the 1950s, which by the way, I'll call bullshit on that, as it seems like you just read and came up with those facts, will automatically make your point valid? God damn! This guy's a fucking retard that doesn't give modern technology worth a try.
But one particular movie I remember seeing in theaters back when I was a kid was Spy Kids 3D. And I thought it was really cool to see the thing blowing right back out at you. But as I continued to get older, I thought it was really stupid. It really got annoying. And seeing as how that everything was coming out in 3D constantly as the years went by.
I can agree that 3D is being overused, but a lot of the audience still enjoys watching movies in 3D. In fact, there is an option in the theaters to actually see something in both 2D and 3D. Just look at the pictures being shown in selected theaters, and you will see what I am talking about. Now, I understand that 2D doesn't have as much viewing time as 3D, but it's what the theater company and the motion picture company wants so they can please the general movie-going audience and so that they, the people, working in the specific line of work, actually make a decent living. If you enjoy just regular 2D, that's fine, dandy, and filled with hanky-panky. But like this repetitiveness and borefest that is called a rant, You're just complaining and agitating the situation even more and becoming a laughingstock on YouTube.
I would also like to point out that if it's shot correctly, and if the 3D is used correctly, then you will get a film much like James Cameron's Avatar. It also works for animated feature films because of the color choices most animated films use actually work with the 3D in its favor.
It's like, what the frick? Are you honestly gonna have every single thing come out in 3D just to make money? Come on! Cut us some slack, will ya?
Jesus fucking H. Christ! Refer to what I just said in the last goddamn forsaken statement!
I mean, only certain movies are meant to be in 3D, and those are the good ones. I mean, this is stupid. If I want to go see a movie in 3D, I'll go see it. But if I want to see something in 2D, sit nada. Only certain movies are meant to be in 3D. Not every single dang thing.
Wait. You know this? Then why in the fuck are you bitching about it? And for that matter, why the fuck did I correct you? Holy shit, I mean, my god, just why? You couldn't explain this at the beginning of this segment?
Right now we have Beauty and the Beast out in theaters in 3D. Why? I have no clue in the world. Oh yeah, it's to make more money!
So, you are going to complain about the trend that CGI animation went through in the portion of this FUBAR rant so far, and yet you are complaining about the instant classic that a lot of the fans of Disney enjoy in their childhood, and the fact it was released during the 20th anniversary of Disney's Beauty and the Beast theatrical release, and yet it's mainly a 2D hand-drawn animated film? Do you hear yourself think? Of course you don't. You're just shooting off your mouth, contradicting yourself, and giving people who just enjoy 2D animation and classic Disney films a bad name and reputation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to face desk and face wall at the same time.
God, whatever happened to caring about people? Huh? You ever think of that? Huh?
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once normal 2D, and that some people don't. People started 3D, people can stop it.
Why do you think they re-released The Lion King and The Little Mermaid and are re-releasing other classic Disney animated films such as Aladdin? Well, if you're going to bitch about this, then why don't you bitch about the very first full-length animated movie that brought the late Mr. Walt Disney to the map of filmmaking called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which premiered on December 21st, 1937 and was released February 4th, 1938. And not to mention, they re-released the film in these years.
God. And plus, I'm a person that likes to escape from reality the majority of the time when I'm alone, so...
Yeah, I'm a person that would like to escape from reality right now too. Like out of this crippled rant and go masturbate towards Barbra Streisand smut.
Like I said, as I continue to grow older, I really got annoyed at the things blowing right back at me. So, I don't want the reality blown right back at me anymore. This is why I'm annoyed at 3D movies.
Wouldn't that mean that you hate every form of escapism? Since they have some form of reality in which you can relate to no matter how bizarre. Oh wait, you like artsy films with no plot, don't you? Fucking snob.
So bottom line, 3D is just a thing that's used to get more money these days. It's really just annoying. So stop!
Oh, not this again.
So, telling the filmmakers and the people who are participating in editing the films in 3D to cease production of what they are going to do will persuade them to de-evolve the advancement of technology, which is virtually impossible unless you are Amish or a Mennonite churning butter and having barn raisings 24/7. Once again, you prove absolutely nothing and made yourself look like a bumbling and immature jackass that you represent. Now, you hear what I hear? I'm starting to hear it. Oh yeah! This! Moan, bitch, and gripe. Bitch and moan, bitch and moan, bitch and gripe.
Next, we move on to the last thing, Blu-ray. Now, I've talked about Blu-ray several different times in the first season of I Love 1994's Rant series, and you know what? I talked about it in my rant on modern society and a little bit of in a high school rant. I talked about it in my modern TV rant.
Then why in the fuck are you bringing it up again? If you have already stated your opinions towards Blu-ray, then I have to ask again, why? I'm sure your fans get the fact that you hate Blu-ray. Jesus Christ, you're reminding me way too much of Home of the Good Guys right now.
And you know what? I address it a lot, don't I? Because I have a certain grudge with
Grundage? Huh. Never heard of that Japanese horror film before.
it. I really do.
Really? Like almost your favorite dick-sucking, gay-loving, butt-fuck buddy by the name of Benjamin, and how he made like 3 out of the 5 unnecessary parts to his Cartoon Network rant, especially that 5th part where he doesn't give Secret Mountain Fort Awesome a slight chance, and this is coming from a guy that's supposed to be giving new cartoons at least a legitimate chance of being watched before stating his opinion, as he proves to be nothing more than a biased prick in his more recent rants.
I'll drink to that with some cider, aka the brony version of a lager.
And believe me, I know you guys are getting tired and sick of hearing about how much I hate Blu-ray, but believe me, this will be the last time.
The last time? I highly doubt that, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, go ahead and make your predictions now. I will guarantee him that he will make yet another unnecessary rant on Blu-ray here in about 4 to 6 months. And if your guess is better than mine, I will treat you out somewhere, if I have the money. Maybe to a nice steak dinner at the local Texas Roadhouse.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Why convert to Blu-ray? We've just got done collecting DVDs, for goodness sake.
You know, that is like asking why switch from beta and VHS to Laserdisc, or as you stated earlier, DVD to Blu-ray, or even more recently, strictly data for watching movies and TV shows. You know, like from Netflix, Hulu, Ultraviolet, hell, even YouTube does this. Gee, you really didn't think of any other reason other than why upgrade. All you're doing is refusing to move forward with modern tech. Much like everyone else who is like this. Whether you like it or not, you will have to eventually upgrade. Hell, I had to do this because with the advancement of Blu-ray, I could finally experience what I saw in the theaters. Besides, as Juniorfan stated earlier, Blu-rays are relatively cheap now, and so are Blu-ray players. So I have to ask, why bitch and complain about it when it has fixed itself over time, due to customers buying these items, thus making them relatively cheaper and more cost efficient?
Not to mention that you said got done collecting DVDs. Don't you mean that they got done being the standard for video format? That statement doesn't make sense at all. Hell, it's like if I mentioned the PS2. Now I understand the PS2 is basically outdated from the gaming market, but still, you can purchase a brand new PS2 at Best Buy or even Walmart for $80, and you can still find the games for that system in the various stores that I mentioned. What I'm trying to say is that even though the video format which you will present to us is outdated, doesn't mean you can't collect them. Look at sites like Atari Age, Nintendo Age, and Sega Age, or even sites like Amazon, eBay, PlayAsia, Retro USB, and Chase the Chuck Wagon. They have collectors for retro consoles and games, and they buy accessories, games, and consoles from both the local mom-and-pop retro game stores to ones like Play and Trade. So that's all I have to say about that, and it's coming from the same guy who has over 1,000 games in his personal collection.
I mean, for crying out loud! Be right back.
Hey boys, we get to see ourselves in this video!
Wait a minute! Oh! This rant isn't over yet, you imbecile! Really? I find the M&M figurines to actually have more of a life thriving for them in this unedited portion of the rant. And why? Because of the simple yet obvious fact that he's trying to find a DVD and VHS for his diatribe, and making this part as interesting as, say, watching most of RM Brett's videos.
You know what's more compelling than this? Watching flies eat shit. Hey, don't tell Butthead to shut up.
Yeah.
I just got done collecting DVDs.
So, I guess you're not done collecting adult porno at the local XXX movie store? So, I'm guessing it's not the latest gay version of barbed wire bandits banging black chiefs bumbling buffoons?
Do we really need Blu-ray? And despite the fact that DVD is still out there, no, we don't need them.
My brain is slumping and slooping so much that it's starting to fall right out of my anus due to the monotony accompanied by this childish ranter.
It's like we're moving on to a new format.
Why do I even bother?
Wait about 10 years, schmuck, and you'll be begging for your precious Blu-ray to be the main stable for entertainment formats. You'll be pissed at a little-known something by the name of Ultraviolet, as they are advertising it right now on television. So shut your fucking hole!
For crying out loud, no. I have a medium DVD collection and a large...
Ah, damn! I thought that would be the sluttier picture of Bianca. That would make the furries cream and jizz their pants while fapping off to such a hidden discovery.
Copy of The Rescuers.
Funny, I thought this was God. Or this. Or this. Well, with that logic, then this must be God.
Yeah, I have a large VHS collection. When I was a kid, to all the 2000s kids out there, this is how we watched movies when I was growing up.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
You guys will never experience this.
I guess you hadn't experienced shopping at the local Salvation Army, Goodwill, or flea markets. They sell VHS tapes and VHS players all the fucking time. Again, you're an inept, one-sided, single, and weak-minded bumbler that is bickering about some of the pettiest bullshit I have heard. You're one of the reasons why my childhood is being raped with a 12-inch pecker, and I, for one, can't stand it anymore!
We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
Yeah. And you know, I have a large VHS collection. Do you know why?
Does anybody know how to blackmail? Anybody? I think I found pictures of him in the closet doing something unnatural to those poor and defenseless VHS tapes, and why he has a large collection.
Because I'm collecting the tapes, and I want to, you know, keep the memories of how I used to watch these tapes. And I also want my kids to see what a VHS really is.
I can relate to what you just said about sharing VHS tapes to the next generation, but really, they need to experience, screw it. I'm not going to repeat myself and sound as repetitious as this broken record being portrayed in an AVI format.
Watching a DVD just takes the fun out of it.
How exactly does one format take the fun out of another? From what I remember of watching both VHS and DVD with my family, it was all about spending time together and enjoying the film.
And besides, the point of owning the film is like what Unsealed Cross just said, is to experience the joy and suspense of what the film provides. It doesn't matter which format the film succumbs, as long as you have a physical copy of your favorite movie or TV show. Then what is there to complain about? I guess count thy blessings means absolutely nothing and is completely meaningless.
However, DVDs are good for bonus features and audio commentaries. So, yeah, you get the point. And that's what DVDs are good for. Bonus features and audio commentaries, especially games.
I thought the only purpose for DVDs were to be treated like a frisbee, so your dog can go and play catch with them. Oh, wait. They might break it in pieces, and you would have to send them to the vet. Never mind.
But VHS is more charming, and it's where it's at. Be kind, please rewind.
Gee, I wonder where he got that line from. Oh, and one more thing. That's what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm hearing. Come on, guys, quit picking on the old video format. You big bullies. No, what are you doing? Oh no, don't do that. No! Why? It was just a VHS tape. Why?
And so I'm saying, please keep your tapes, rewind them, and preserve their quality so they can last the next 50 years.
Okay, Mr. Highly Functioning Autistic Version of Millhouse, but thanks to you, I am convinced to put an electronic chip in every VHS tape to exist and hijack Skynet and get the tapes to do my dirty work, so we can dispose of assholes like you, so we can send you to the nearest molten steel factory, compress you like a cockroach, and take the remains and put them in the molten steel just like Arnie.
Please, keep your tapes, don't throw them out, but if you want to sell them, and if a VHS collector comes to your garage sale or whatever, sell them to that person.
Holy shit, you know about those things?
No, really? I thought you could have chucked the VHS tapes at them and make sure they had lacerations on their head, which may require the collector to get like 10 stitches. Oh, herpity derp derp derp.
So, bottom line, Blu-ray is just pointless, stupid, gay, and lame. Besides, we don't need it, and it's just another rip-off of a DVD.
Wow, and just when I thought your reasoning to why you hate the things you hate couldn't get any dumber, then you pull that out of your ass. Here's 2 of my complaints with Blu-ray. First, if one little smudge gets on the disc, it takes a while for the disc to load, and also, the way you remove the Blu-ray from the case doesn't help either. I actually prefer the push-button system that you see in most DVDs, and some Blu-rays. That actually helps protect the disc better. You see what I did there? I gave you some reasons why Blu-rays aren't that great. You're welcome.
Also, how is it considered a rip-off? The only preferences that makes DVD and Blu-ray identical is they are basically discs, and they were created by the same company. Your argument and statement is so flawed that I would literally have to dig out the equivalent of, say, a 20-foot hole of grizzly bear and buffalo fecal matter embedded in that hole. This proves you don't know jack fucking shit in what you just droned on about. First of all, the appearance of the back of the discs look nothing alike. With Blu-ray, it has an indigo shading associated with the interior of the disc, and you can see the front of the disc, or the label, much clearer than a DVD. Second, Blu-ray can hold a lot more data than a DVD. If I'm not mistaken, it would have to take 100 DVDs to hold as much information as, say, a typical Blu-ray, which is why Blu-rays look much clearer on the big screen than your average DVD, which looks grainy and pixelated by comparison. One more thing to add. Blu-rays are tougher to damage when being scratched than a DVD, and just loads when it is damaged, unlike the DVD where it basically skips. The only problem with Blu-ray is that you can't clean them, or else the disc is done as dinner. So your vague and BS statement absolutely makes no goddamn sense, boy.
So there's my rant on CGI, 3D, and Blu-ray.
Blah blah blah, yada yada yada, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, blah blah blah.
Do you know why? Because 1. The CGI is taking over animation. 2. 3D is just a way to get money. And 3. Blu-ray is just another version of a DVD, and it makes me sick.
Just like this entire rant, it represents the extreme vagueness that's known as a pissing contest on CGI, 3D, and Blu-ray.
Ugh!
Ugh! Constipation and bad acting! Ugh!
Well, I might as well find something else to rant about, seeing as how that's it. That's all I had to say.
Whoops! Too late! Show's over, folks. Wouldn't you agree, Cross?
Yes.
Well, thank the Lord and Jesus that this video is finally over.
Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again.
Now, let's start out with you, Unsealed Cross. Please describe your final thoughts on the horror. The horror!
Alright, well, all I have to say about this rant is the simple question of why. Why did he do this rant of 3 subjects that we've heard enough people bitch about? Not only that, but it seems like he didn't do any research as to what he was going to rant about, and was completely biased.
Well, in conclusion, this video was very unnecessary. I Love 1994 definitely showed signs of being a true nostalgia-tard, and if I was in this guy's shoes, I would regret making rant videos ever again. If you think that what he presented was bad, just look at his other 500 plus videos that he makes. He makes a Sega Genesis review, and only mentions the Sonic games, and that's it. This video almost gave me a virtual vasectomy and convinced me never to have kids again. I fucking hated this biased rant, and this young adult doesn't know what the hell he is talking about. Also, kid, you need to be trolled once more on RetroJunk.com, because let's face it, you are the absolute plague and scourge of the ranting community. Now piss off and do something productive for once, like tying your waist to a cinder block and walking about a mile. Wow, Coming has 2 M's in it? Wow, when was I never aware of this? Holy Jesus! Anytime I type in coming, it's always with 1 M, or whenever I write something, it's always with 1 M. Holy shit, I should go back to 2nd grade and learn how to fucking spell coming. Thank you, Gyro. Also, I just absolutely adore the fact that you use Requiem of the Dream. It's so not used in, like, every cliche, overly dramatic trailer. It's just so fucking awesome. You're so original, Gyro. And oh my gosh, I just love the zoom in effects that you use for Windows Movie Maker. This part of the video is just so outstanding. I'm crying in joy at the moment.
I really expected more from you, but I guess you're just weak.
Well, I guess my audience should take my work seriously, because I'm using Speakonia for my original Sonic Recolor and let the immediate audience know it is so not used in videos involving fruit pickles, the Barney Lunch, and secret missing episodes, where people will guffaw and cringe at the same time instead of proclaiming how awesome this movie is going to be. In fact, I know another person who uses Speakonia in his Recolor videos.
Hey guys, Recco the Fox here, and I got a new look. Yay! Now the reason I changed my look because I find this more original than the other one.
And I have to give you great compliments, Gyro, for actually meshing the Speakonia laughter with Requiem of the Dream. It's like meshing peanut butter with chocolate. You get a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's just so fucking genius. I mean, shoot, people are gonna assume it's a badass trailer. Yeah, if they were limbotic through the fucking skull! Anyway, you misspelt Fallen. Fallen has 2 L's in it. Now it's time to play off your perfect clip.
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
I before E except after C. I before E except after C.
Well, it looks like I finally will defeat you.
Damn, Shadow Recolor, that's one big mofo machine gun. How many times did you take Enzite? Like 20 times a day? Shut up, Smiling Bob! But in all seriousness though, Gyro, your Gmodding skills are fucking atrocious. Because, seriously, the gun looks like it's just plastered when it comes to your Shadow Recolor, and the fact that you decided to actually give a gun that's like 2 times the size of your actual character, it just baffles my mind of how unrealistic it just looks and feels with this particular movie. Because if he seriously used that gun in real life, the damn thing will topple over and your Sonic Recolor would fall flat on its face and not get any shots in.
Zero! Stop this right now, you monster! There is nothing you can do to stop me.
Holy shit, Gyro, the actual time and effort it must have taken you to come up with an actual name of your Shadow Recolor, it's just so mind-boggling and staggering. Seriously though, Zero? I mean, what the fuck, dude? It's not like it's been used in shitloads and shitloads of franchises more recently, such as the Mega Man X series, Nightmare Before Christmas, or hell, even that Zero bar that Hershey came out with. And I'm pretty sure that loads and loads of other franchises have used the name Zero as well. I mean, shoot, Zero is just so generic when it comes to being into a franchise for a specific name. You might as well just call your hedgehog a John Smith or a John Doe. That's right. John Doe the Hedgehog. That's perfect. Holy scholastic! Gyro actually spelt everything right, and he did not misuse grammar in this particular text screen. Wow, I am impressed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the rest of the trailer is not going to be saved, though. I couldn't even hear what Grapico the Hedgehog had to say because he muffled so damn much in his Speakonia voice.
Now, to find Gyro and destroy him.
And here's Zero's gay and homosexual partner, Ass Cheese the Hedgehog.
Prepare for the end.
Nice Windows Movie Maker effects to make Shadow look even more devastating by using the Chaos Blast. Way to go, Gyro. And also, the way the movie looks, it just looks like it's going to be static images of the Shadow the Hedgehog recolors from the game Shadow the Hedgehog. And that's going to be it. Kind of like in that other Sprite animated movie.
Just who are you anyway? This is the end for you.
Ready then?
I'm ready, Gyro.
Okay, let's get through it.
I'd buy that for $1. So, in conclusion, what's my thoughts on Gyrohegy453's upcoming Sonic Recolor movie and the trailer itself? Well, the Sonic Recolor movie is uninspired to say the least, and the trailer itself is unspectacular to say the very least. In fact, it fucking blows. Now, Gyrohegy453 is a Sonic Recolor artist, and the guy is also a troll. In fact, he is actually a successful troll according to my personal opinion, because he seriously got responses out of people, whether it be YouTube poops, rants, and commentaries as a response to his epic failure. Now, everybody, including their own mother, brother, sister, dog, whatever, has done at least one video on the guy, including myself, which I did a one-shot commentary on his top 10 best-looking Sonic characters list, which, of course, he puts his #1 character as Gyro the Hedgehog. Yeah, his so original character. And it's so not a ripoff of Guptail89's top 10 hottest looking female Sonic characters list. I'm fixing to do a commentary as far as WeViewer's Kirby's Adventure review is concerned. Now, before I begin to bash on the guy, let me go ahead and praise him first. First of all, I think he is an excellent reviewer. I think he does an excellent job, quote-unquote, reviewing Wii games, Virtual Console games, and WiiWare games. But that's the point of his username, actually. It's quite funny, actually, and it's quite clever. It's Wii Viewer. It's quite funny, actually. But he's also an excellent parent as well. I think it's neat that he treats his videos as if they were a family project. I think it's neat that both his boys can participate in some of his reviews, especially the Lil Wii Viewer. The Lewis Viewer, not so much, but the Lil Wii Viewer, he participates in probably about 60% of his reviews. And more or less, I think it's a great aspect that, the Wii Viewer, lets his boys participate in some of the reviews. I think it's also neat that both his parents are part of cameos in some of his videos, and I think that's pretty unique as well. Now, here's where the shit really hits the fan. I actually seen some of his earlier reviews, and really, I am not impressed with him. He claims that Star Tropics is a ripoff of Zelda whenever Nintendo made both games. He claims Bonk's Adventure was average, but really gave it no reason, except he just bashed on it. And then we have Kirby's Adventure. He bashes on Kirby's Adventure way too much in this review, and I understand he has a revision for Kirby's Adventure, but the thing about it is that it was a matter of too little too late, because his revision came out in December 2009. The review he did came out in April 2008. If he's got so much hate on that one review, then either he could have redone it, or he could have done a revision earlier. But more or less, that would be hypocritical on what I said, because I did a commentary on an old video that I did back in 2008, and it took me up to this time to actually claim that video was utter shit. But the thing about it is that his Kirby's Adventure review is just garbage. And he played Kirby 64 before playing Kirby's Adventure, and really, more or less, he bashes on the game because of that aspect. And he also claims the game is very monotonous and very, tedious and very repetitive and very easy. And that's basically what his whole review is all about. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get this commentary started, and I apologize if I was dragging.
Kirby's Adventure. Kirby's first adventure on the NES is a standard platformer with a lot of secrets to unlock. The game is really easy though, and you can pretty much power through the entire game in 3 hours. The story is about Kirby, who finds out that King Dedede has broken the Star Rod into 7 pieces, and given them to his 6 friends, who are then taken into their worlds to use to take over. I guess. Kirby's claim to fame is his ability to suck in enemies and gain their abilities. There are 24 powers you can get. They're not all useful as attacks, but most of them are. My favorite attack was the tornado. It was very easy to clear out a bunch of enemies. But the worst had to be the parasol. Not only was the attack range small, but it made Kirby look gayer than usual when he's slowly gliding down.
Here's where the review jumps the shark and is literally torn into a million pieces. First of all, you claim the parasol has no friggin' range. The thing about it is that the parasol, it may not be as useful as the sword, the cutter, the ice, or the tornado, but at least you can use it as a weapon. I wouldn't be complaining much, pal. And also, the thing about it is that at least it's better than the friggin' sleep attack that Kirby uses whenever he's sucking up the enemies that have the hats. I'm not sure what they're called. But either way, at least it's more useful than that weapon, because if I'm not mistaken, all it does is either regain your health or it does nothing. Either way, it's more useful than that. Second of all, you claim Kirby is gay because he floats down with a parasol? Oh my gosh. What are you? You're trying to stereotype the friggin' gays? Are you going to claim that every Super Smash Bros. Brawl character that is a male, such as Sonic, Mario, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, are you talking about any male character that is in Super Smash Bros. Brawl that uses a parasol for a weapon? Are you going to consider them gay? Are you going to consider Mega Man, who, whenever he gets equipped with the quick boomerang in Mega Man 2, are you going to consider him gay because he changes from blue to pink? Oh, and speaking of Mega Man, your comparison to the parasol is almost as equally as bad as this reviewer I'm fixing to show whenever he calls Mega Man the N-word because he's black in one of the scenes for Mega Man 9. Oh, and y'all know who I'm talking about, don't you?
And look at this, now I'm black? Fucking Mega Man a nigger now, too? Fuck you, Mega Man. Fuck you.
The level design is where I found it a bit monotonous. You go through one boring level after another. I'm sorry to all the Kirby fans, but the levels felt the same, and I had to force myself to keep playing.
First of all, what you just said as far as the levels being monotonous is just stupid. It's a platformer. Your logic fails in that aspect. And second of all, you claimed in the beginning part of the review that there are hidden paths in this game. Am I correct? So why the hell are you calling this game monotonous if you already said that there's hidden paths and hidden secrets in this game? My God, you can't even, you can't even be consistent to what you say, can you, jackass?
Almost everything that moves can kill you.
Almost everything can hurt you, not kill you. And also, it's a thing we love to call a challenge. If you can't understand that Kirby has somewhat of a challenge with the enemies as far as trying to run you over and whatnot, then you should not be playing it. It's a friggin' platformer like what I mentioned. The enemies do have somewhat of a challenge.
With a strange exception, there is a level where you have to move around on an airship. You would think the propellers would hurt you, but they can't. It's just the background.
Time to call in the Intellivision kid. Tell him what you gotta say, son.
I didn't know.
There are mini-bosses to fight, which break up the boredom, but they tend to have the same pattern. Jump over them, wait till they fire something at you, and shoot it back at them.
You claim the actual enemies are too hard and that they can instantly hurt you, and then you claim that the mini-bosses are too easy. Can we just be consistent and make up our fucking mind?
At the end of every world there's a big boss to fight, and those were truly fun, since they were so different from the enemies you've encountered so far. If you beat them, you can get a wand, which turns you into 3 Kirbys, so you can do a little dance before you go to the next world.
I didn't know.
There are also mini games to play. Crane Fever, Quick Draw, and Egg Catcher. Please let me make this clear.
So I guess you're not going to explain, whether the mini games are good or bad. You're not going to explain about the stadium mode. You're not going to mention the fact that Kirby can get a free power-up as far as the map is concerned before going on to the next level. You're not going to mention that, are you? I figured that. You show really inconsistency when it came to this review, huh, asshole?
I love Kirby games, but this game isn't as fun as some of the later titles. For example, Kirby 64 is a great game, and it's available for download on the Virtual Console, and I would recommend it over this game.
So, you're going to compare a game that came out in 2000 for the N64 versus a game that came out in 1993 on the original Nintendo. Are you out of your fucking mind? You're comparing oranges to friggin' apples. I don't know what kind of logic you were on whenever comparing these two games, but the thing about it is that the gameplay was better for the N64, and the graphics were better for the N64. You want to know why? Because the NES couldn't do as much as the N64. So, your comparison between those two games is completely false. I understand that in your revision, you compared Super Mario Bros. 3 with Kirby's Adventure, but the thing about it is that Kirby's Adventure was made for little kids. And still, to this day, I still love Kirby's Adventure. But the thing about it is that Super Mario Bros. 3, it was made for everybody. It was made for young kids, up to, the old adults. So your logic is completely false compared Super Mario Bros. 3 and Kirby's Adventure, and the same thing with Kirby 64 with Kirby's Adventure. So there you go.
The boring level design, the tedious gameplay, and the too easy difficulty level make this one not worth the Wii points. You should skip it.
So, you're making a big deal about people spending $5 on a game. Are you kidding me? Hell, even the cartridge for Kirby's Adventure for the NES doesn't even cost that much. It costs between $8 to $10, either at eBay or Amazon. And I bought mine for $13 off of eBay. So, I don't know why you would be bitching about that. My opinion about Kirby is this. It's a very good game. It's probably one of the best games for the NES. The only problem I have with the game is the fact that the controls can be slippery and they can be sensitive at times, but they're not that bad. And also the game can be too easy. But that's the only complaint about it because the game is made for younger audiences. And also the fact that, back in your earlier reviews as well, I noticed that you tend to curse a lot. I mean, I'll say this right now. My channel is not the cleanest channel to exist. I do curse like a sailor. But the thing about it is that you're trying to convince parents to buy the games, even if it's for the Virtual Console. And yes, even in your Knights review for the Wii, you said bullshit. I mean, come on, is a parent really want to hear your foul mouth? My God. I mean, like I said, you're trying to appeal to the parents and the kids, not to people about my age. You're trying to also appeal to the parents and the kids because the Wii is basically a family console, a family video game console. So, I don't know why in your earlier reviews you decide to curse up a storm compared to your other videos. But I guess that was before you decided to make your channel more kid-friendly than it was. I don't know. But either way, I do respect you as a reviewer. I do love your reviews. I do think you're a great reviewer. I just don't like your earlier works. I'm sorry, but they're complete garbage, especially the one for Kirby's Adventure. And even your revision wasn't even all that great. I'm sorry to say this, Wii viewer, but your revision wasn't all that great.